Namaste. So in previous lecture we were talking about sinusoidal steady state analysis, and in this chapter particularly we were discussing that what is sinusoid, how we can convert any sinusoidal signal into a phasor, what is phasor diagram, how we can convert a phasor in a form of a rectangular to polar form, polar to exponential form. Okay, so all these things we were discussing in last lecture. In today's lecture we are going to deal with different circuit elements, let's say specifically a passive elements, that is a resistor, inductor and capacitor. So we are going to find the various properties of R, L and C as far as the phasor diagram is concerned. So let me just move to the phasor relationship of, let's first talk about inductor only with respect to voltage and current. So let us take an example that for inductor the current through the inductor is given by I, that is Im cos omega t. So assume that there is an inductor and it is going to be supplied by a time varying current I, and it can be given as Im cos omega t plus phi, where Im is peak amplitude of the signal and phi is phase angle. Okay, now if you want to find the voltage across the inductor, that will be V is equal to L di by dt. In short, we can say your voltage is directly proportional to the rate of change of current. Okay, and you can just remove the proportionality constant, then it will be V is equal to L di by dt. Now just put the value of I from the first equation, that is Im cos omega t plus phi. If you put your value of I right here, then Im is constant, so you have to take the derivative of this equation. So Im is constant, that is why Im will be as it is. The differentiation of cos omega t plus phi will be first cos minus sin omega t plus phi. Again you have to take the differentiation of this term omega t plus phi, then it will be omega only. So now your new equation will be minus omega L as it is Im sin omega t plus phi. Okay, now we know that cos omega t plus theta is equal to minus sin theta. So let me just write down, just assume that using simple trigonometric identities we can write that cos omega t plus theta, or is equal to, where theta is equal to 90. Okay, where theta is equal to 90 degree. So it will be cos omega t plus 90, then it will be minus sin omega t. That we know. Okay, that we know that if cos omega t plus 90 will be there, it will be minus sin omega t. So now just apply this right here. So you have minus sin omega t right here, then it will be cos omega t plus 90 degree. Here the angle is 0, here it is omega t only, here omega t plus phi. Okay, you can see omega t plus phi. So you can easily convert that omega L Im cos, this minus sign will be plus because here it is minus, but in cos omega t plus 90 there is no negative sign. Okay, it will be cos omega t plus phi plus 90. So when you apply a sinusoidal current through an inductor, then your current is Im cos omega t plus phi, and your sinusoidal voltage will be omega L Im cos omega t plus phi plus 90. Now this can also be, both this equation can also be shown in form of a phasor, but before that let me just erase what we have done right here. Okay, now as far as voltage is concerned, if you just look at this equation, so this is in terms of a sinusoidal signal, but if you want to convert in phasor form, So here you can see the cosine term right here, cos omega t plus 5 plus 90. And if you want to write this equation in phasor form, you have to deal with the real part of your phasor, because here the term is cos, that is why it shows the real part of your phasor or the complex number. Okay, so you can easily convert into Euler's theorem. What is Euler's theorem? E raised to j phi is your Euler's theorem, can also be represented as cos phi plus j sin phi. Okay, so omega L and Im is constant, so we don't have to worry about this, but this term can be converted into using Euler's theorem, that is e raised to j phi plus 90. Now again we have just omitted this omega t, because if you just mention omega t right here, then it will be e raised to j omega t, and we are suppressing this factor just by assuming that we are converting your time domain signal into phasor domain. Okay, so we are just eliminating this factor e raised to j omega t. In that case it will be e raised to j phi plus 90 only. Okay, we are assuming that your phasor is not rotating. Although it is rotating, the phase shift between V and I will be same if your angular frequency is not changing. Okay, here you can see it is omega t, here also omega t, so we are suppressing that factor e raised to j omega t. Okay, now you can just simplify this equation by e raised to j phi multiply by e raised to j 90. Now we know that e raised to j phi is nothing but e raised to j phi cos phi plus j sin phi. Here the same term is there, but the value of phi is 90, so put phi is equal to 90 right here. If you put cos 90, it will be 0 plus j sin 90, it is 1, so it is 1j only. So just put the value of e raised to j 90 into this equation, then it will be, this j term will be there, so j omega L Im e raised to j phi. Okay, so e raised to j phi is nothing but Im e raised to j phi is nothing but your vector representation of current I. So just substitute the value of I is equal to Im e raised to j phi in this equation. Now it can be observed from the above equation that the voltage and current in case of an inductor are out of phase with each other. Okay, let me just remove all this work right here. So we generally see that your voltage phasor and current phasor in case of an inductor are out of phase, and the phase shift between both of these is, you can see right here, your current sinusoidal is omega t plus phi, and your voltage sinusoidal, it is given as omega t plus phi plus 90. So there is a phase shift between voltage and current is 90 degree. Let me just show you the figure. So if you draw in a z plane, that is your real axis and imaginary axis, your I is given by Im omega t plus phi, the phase with real axis is 5 degree, is rotating at omega frequency. Same way your voltage is given by omega L Im, so the magnitude will be a multiplication of omega L and Im, and the phase shift will be omega t plus phi plus 90. Okay, so the 90 plus 90 is added, so this degree plus 90, so the phase displacement between voltage and current is 90 degree. So your voltage and current sinusoidal or the phase are not in phase, out of phase, and phase shift is 90 degree. Okay, so we can say that your current lags the voltage by 90 degree. Here you can see that your phasor, V phasor, here I is also in phasor, so I phasor, V phasor is equal to j omega L I phasor. Now if you compare this equation with Ohm's law, which is V is equal to I multiply by R. If you compare both this equation, you can see that V is equal to I, and this small factor is nothing but X. L. Now this XL has the properties as the resistance to oppose the flow of the current, and that is why the unit of XL is also ohm. So just keep in mind XL, the value of XL is nothing but j omega L. I think it is clear to everybody. Okay, so in case of an inductor, your current lags voltage by 90 degree, or we can say that your voltage lead current I by 90 degree. So just we are taking different reference only. Okay, same way you can find for a capacitor, that we are going to do in next slide, but I think it is clear to you. In that case, the capacitor voltage and current relationship will be very easier. So same way for a capacitor, let the voltage across the capacitor is given by V is equal to Vm cos omega t plus phi. Okay, so this is nothing but a capacitor is supplied by a time varying voltage signal. In that case, voltage V is equal to, that is Vm cos omega t plus phi, and the value of current I is equal to C dV by dt. So in case of a capacitor, current will depends on a rate of change of voltage. Now if you just remove the proportionality constant, C will be there. Okay, so now put the value of V into this equation and differentiate. So Vm will constant, C is right here only. The differentiation of cos omega t plus phi will be minus sin omega t plus phi, and differentiation of omega t plus phi will be omega. So you will have this equation. Okay, now same, using simple trigonometric identities, you can convert the sine into cos with cos omega t plus phi plus 90. Now you can see that in a voltage equation, that is Vm cos omega t plus phi, but in case of I current, it is omega c Vm cos omega t plus phi plus 90. So you just simply can see that there is a phase displacement between voltage and current is 90 degree. Okay, so same way we can also express this sinusoidal into a phasor form, and that is I omega cv. Just using Euler's theorem, you can represent this term, that is e raised to j phi plus 90. Okay, now by simplifying this equation, that is omega cvm, that is e raised to j omega and e raised to j 90. Now the value of e raised to j omega will be j. So put the value of e raised to j omega into this equation, that will be j omega c e raised to j phi. Okay, here I missed one term, that is Vm. Okay, here it will be Vm e raised to j phi. Now what is Vm e raised to j phi? That is nothing but your phasor representation of voltage V bar. Okay, so this is also phasor V bar. So let me just remove all these inks. Okay, so from this equation we can observe that your voltage and current in case of a capacitor are out of phase, and the phase shift will be plus 90 degree. Here we can see Vm cos omega t plus phi, here omega t plus phi plus 90 degree. So phase shift between voltage and current, it will be 90 degree. Let me just draw the phasor diagram for capacitor voltage and current in z plane. So here it is real axis, imaginary axis. V is equal to magnitude Vm at an angle of omega t plus phi phase shift, which is rotating at omega frequency. Okay, and current is omega t plus phi plus 90. So there is a phase shift between voltage and current, that is 90 degree, and magnitude will be I. So here you can see that your current I leading voltage V by 90 degree, or you can say your voltage V lag current I by 90 degree. That is what we have concluded from this phasor diagram. Okay, same way you can see that here also you can compare with your Ohm's law, that is V is equal to I multiply by R. Okay, but here I is equal to j omega cv, so you can rewrite this equation like v is equal to, again v bar, it is v bar is equal to I bar divided by j omega c. Okay, and this term 1 divided by j omega c has also the quality as your resistance which oppose the flow of the current, and it is known as xc. Okay, it is nothing but your capacitive reactance. So if you just equate both this equation, you know that v is equal to IR. In that case, the value of x is equal to 1 upon j omega c, that is capacitive reactance. And from phasor diagram we just concluded that your current leads voltage by 90 degree. Okay, so that is what we have concluded from your inductor and capacitor, that in case of inductor your voltage lead current by 90 degree, but in case of capacitor your current lead voltage by 90 degree. So obviously in case of inductor and current, the sinusoids are out of phase. In case of a resistor, V is directly proportional to I, that is why your voltage and current are in phase with each other. Okay, and there is a phase shift between voltage and current in case of a inductor and capacitor, that is plus or minus 90 degree. Now let us take an example to clear this idea. Let's say we have a voltage V of t, and that is given by 12 cos 60t plus 45 degree. Okay, this is given in terms of a sinusoidal function, and that is applied to an inductor, that is value is 0.1 Henry, and we have to find the steady state current in the inductor. So again, using previous equation, that is I is equal to V j omega L. Okay, so as far as in case of inductor, we have derived this equation that V bar is nothing equal to j omega L I bar. Okay, this is your inductive reactance XL. So you have to keep in mind here the value of inductor is given, not your inductive reactance XL. Okay, so you have to first find the value of XL, then you put the value of XL into this equation. V is already given, so you can easily find the value of current. Okay, so that is what we have done right here. So from this equation we can write I bar is equal to nothing but V bar divided by j omega L. Okay, now simply put this value of V bar from this equation here. First we have to find the phasor form. So the phasor will be found out like a magnitude as it is at an angle plus 45. Okay, thus this is the e raised to j omega kind of term, so it will be e raised to 60 t kind of term. So we are suppressing this factor while finding our phasor form. So it will be 12 at an angle of 45. And what is j omega L? So put j omega frequency is angular frequency is 60. So put omega is equal to 60, and the value of inductor is given as 0.1 Henry. Okay, so the this part will be same, but you multiply 60 multiply by 0.1, it will be 6. And due to this imaginary part is there, so in imaginary axis the angle will be 90 degrees, so it can be easily converted into 90 degrees. So we are converting your rectangular form into phasor form. Okay, so that is the advantage. Either you can deal with a rectangular form, or you can deal with a phasor form or exponential form, whatever is easier for you while doing a calculation. Okay, so in that case we are interested to divide each other, so it is easy to deal with polar form rather than using a rectangular form. So yes, sixth that will be 2, and the angle will be minus 45 minus 90 will be minus 45. Okay, so angle will be subtracted, that is by 45 degree minus 90 degree, and that will be 45 degree minus 45 degree. Now this is in form of a phasor. If you are asked to represent in term of a time domain, then it will be I of t is equal to first the magnitude as it is, and you can just put like, let me just write down your conventional equation, that is I of t is equal to Im cos omega t plus phi. Okay, so Im, here it is Im, mean peak value, cos omega t, what is the value of angular frequency, that is 60, so put omega is equal to 60. T, what is the phase angle phi? Phase angle phi is nothing but minus 45 degrees, so you just put phi is equal to minus 45 degree and you will get this equation, 2 cos 60 t minus 45 ampere. Okay, so this is all about today's lecture. So in today's lecture we had discussed that voltage and current relationship in case of inductor and capacitor, and we have used one of the example. I hope this is clear to you. In case of inductor and capacitor, what is the relationship between voltage and current? Okay, so thank you so much. In next lecture we are going to jump in new topic, that is instantaneous power. Okay, so thank you so much. See you next video.